Hey guys, welcome to the 20th episode of From Pixels to Plastic. Wow, 20 episodes. I can hardly believe it has already been 20 episodes. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the ride thus far, and believe me, I have plenty more great stuff to come. But this episode is going to be my biggest episode yet, and it's going to be all about what you, the viewers, have requested to see the most: Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I've done my best to kind of pick some of the best Sonic collectibles to show off today. I mean, there are so many great things out there that I've decided I need to make this episode a little longer than normal, and we're going to take a look at more than just a small group of action figures. But even with the longer format, there's no way I could cover everything. But let's go ahead and jump right into what I know best, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog action figures. Let's take a look.
Sonic action figures have been produced by many different toy companies. Companies such as Joyride Studios and Resorus have both tackled Sonic the Hedgehog. But I want to focus on a specific group of figures, starting with a set produced by a company called Toy Island. Now, Resorus had produced some pretty cool Sonic action figures. In fact, many fans consider them to be among the best to date. So when Toy Island began producing their own plastic versions of Sonic characters, they had some expectations to meet. And their first wave, however, may not have been the best way to meet those expectations. The first wave consisted of Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, and Knuckles. Now, don't get me wrong, these figures aren't terrible, but there have just been some better renditions of the characters out there. So let's take a better look. One of the big flaws of these figures seems to be their chunky bodies. Tails is the best example of this, as he looks to have a little more weight on him than we are used to seeing. The original release of these figures included many accessories, including plastic emeralds and little metal rings. The figures also each had magnets in their feet. Now, the purpose of this was so that the figures could run over the rings and collect them. Collecting rings with your feet does seem a bit silly to me, but it's cool, I guess. Sonic also originally came with a snowboard that stuck to his feet via those same magnets. Now, it's possible you may still find these figures hanging on pegs in your local Toys R Us stores, because recently, Jazzwares Inc., the company who now owns the licensing rights to Sonic, has re-released this particular wave of Sonic figures. The figures are exactly the same, except all of their accessories and the magnets have been stripped away. Toy Island also released a few more waves of figures, including the Space Fighters wave, the Megabot wave, and the Metal Force wave. While some of these figures may have wore silly armor, it was obvious that Toy Island was getting better as they went along. The sculpts on each figure seemed to get more and more accurate. And finally, Toy Island's last wave of figures were released, and many fans consider this to be their best wave. This wave included new versions of Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow, Rogue the Bat, Cream and Cheese, and Chris. Each figure came with its own set of plastic Chaos Emeralds. The articulation on this line was minimal, but the sculpts were far superior to the earlier releases. Just looking at this Sonic side by side with the Wave 1 Sonic really shows the improvement. The proportions are better, the face is better, and overall, this one really just feels more like Sonic. Now, Toy Island also released a pair of Super Poseurs. Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow appeared in a much larger 7-inch scale with a body full of articulation. The many joints do make the figure seem a little odd to me, and the joints seem a tad too loose, but there's no denying that you can get some really cool poses out of these two figures. Even the smallest details like the ears and the head spikes are articulated. Originally, they were only released at KB toy stores, which caused them to be a little hard to find and higher in demand. But recently, Jazzwares has re-released these two similar to how they did with the earlier Toy Island wave. So you may still be lucky enough to find these two bad boys in your local Toys R Us. If you like superposable figures, you should get a kick out of these two. Aside from re-releasing the Toy Island stuff, Jazzwares is releasing their own Sonic figures as well, such as the recent Sonic the Werehog figure. On top of that, there are many rumors circulating about future Sonic action figures released by the company, including the much demanded Super Sonic. If you want to keep up on the latest figure releases, I'd recommend checking out a site called sonicgear.org. They always have great up-to-date news on Sonic merchandise, as well as great reviews of the figures we looked at here today.
So there you have it, Sonic the Hedgehog action figures. Those are actually some really cool figures, and Weird. Let me go get the door. Hold on for just a second.
Yeah, I'm Kratos. You got mail.
Thanks.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Weird. Oh, hey. It's a letter from Norm, the gaming historian.
Dear Dan, I noticed you were doing an episode on Sonic, so I thought I would send you some information on a cool piece of Sonic memorabilia I have. While working at GameStop, Sonic the Hedgehog came out for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Although the game wasn't very good, if you reserved it, you got this cool little Sonic statue for the 15th anniversary celebration. I was able to pick one up. Now, the statue can't move or anything, and the standee feels cheap, but Sonic himself is built well. For a free gift, it is very good quality. Unfortunately, I don't have much more, but I thought you would appreciate seeing this and could use it to show everyone. I'm sure you're probably wondering why I didn't just email you this message along with the pictures. But you'll have to figure that out on your own. Take care, Norm.
From Pixels to Plastic, we'll be right back.
The Sega Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure have arrived, and the critics can't say enough. Sonic the Hedgehog's transition to 3D is a resounding success. Mario who? Sonic has never looked better, been faster, or had more promise. Sell your Genesis now. The Dreamcast and Grade A 3D Sonic the Hedgehog games are here to stay. Microsoft's Xbox and the PlayStation 2 don't stand a chance against Sega's Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure, the video gaming equivalent to the cure for cancer. I wish I had a time machine so I could go 10 years in the future and see all the AAA 3D Sonic games I'm sure Sega has in store for us. So what are you waiting for? Join the worldwide revolution. The Sega Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure are available everywhere you can spend money. Dreamcast. It's thinking.